Alright, it's time for another video. Obviously you guys are infatuated with pallet lumber, specifically pallet signs, seeing as how that is the most viewed video on the channel so far. I've put up a lot of other videos in case you guys haven't noticed, but anyway, so I thought I'd do another pallet sign today. We're going to call this one pallet sign 2.0. Alright, first things first, if you're going to make a pallet wood sign, you got to have pallet boards. Pallet boards are not the same. You find all different kinds of pallets. I'll show you what we're going to be using for this project. This is a very simple, very thin, very lightweight board. Really doesn't have a lot of character to it. I know you're thinking, oh, well, it's got some character going across here because it's got different colors. Yeah, well, let me show you this board. Check that out. This one's been left out in the weather for a long time. There's a lot of natural patina in this board that you can't fake. Or you might could fake it, but it would take a lot of effort and a few scientists and a couple of $1,000s. Nobody really wants to invest that in a pallet sign. If you come across boards like this, do not sand them down. Use them. Use that color. This one I can make fairly smooth by just simply sanding it really quick with a palm sander. I try and use a lot of tools and a lot of techniques that are going to be really common and really cheap because a lot of people aren't going to have an entire woodworking shop. I've got 3 of the same length boards that I'm going to be using to make our sign. Cut 2 small pieces to go behind that. So if this were the back side, these are going to attach something like that. I'll be putting some screws through each one of these to attach it. And then when I flip it over, all you'll see is this face, and I'll have a good surface to work on and paint. Collected some leaves, some different foliage. I'm going to be spray painting a camo on the backdrop of this. So I've got some twig-like things, some small rounded leaves, some pointy leaves, some big leaves. I've got some willows, things like that that I'll be using to do my camo. Now my camo is different than a lot of other people's in the sense that I just don't do the shadow. Most people will lay down a leaf, spray around it and leave a silhouette. I don't do that, so I'll show you what I'm going to do. But here's kind of my base colors. I've got a black, a dark brown, and a medium brown, and then I've got an orange red. It's kind of a fire red, and then a metallic gold, kind of an antique gold, and then a yellow. A lot of people are scared to use some of those bright colors in their camo, and if you go out in the fall and look at the leaves in the woods, you'll notice some orange, you'll notice some yellow, you'll see some gold, you'll see some bright shiny things like that amongst the dark backdrops. So I'm going to be showing you a little bit of a time lapse about how I do my camo system, okay?
I swear it's hard to come out here and try and make YouTube videos with Roger mowing his grass next door. Why don't you quit mowing your grass, Roger? Trying to make my YouTubes.
Okay, now that the background of our sign is painted, I've got the camouflage and leaves and the foliage and all that on it. The next step is to put the name on this. Name, or if you're writing a phrase or anything like that. A lot of people like to use transfer stickers and letters and things like that, and that's fine, but that's going to cost you money. So if you want to save a few dollars and you don't like any of the letters that you find, a solution is simple. I went on Google and found a font that I liked, and you can find any font on the planet. All right, now I've blown it up to the size that I want. I'm going to take this piece of just regular drawing paper. It's not too thick. I'm going to place it over that, and I don't know if you can see that or not, but I can see the outline of this letter right here. I'm going to trace that with pencil, and I'm going to take a pair of scissors or an X-Acto knife, whichever you have. I'm going to cut out each letter. Then I'm going to actually place them on the board and arrange them how I want. Decoupage right over them onto the board, and this white paper will transfer this white letter right onto it, and bam, you've got your own sticker. All you need is the decoupage, and honestly, it's Elmer's glue. If you got Elmer's glue, that's fine too. Just make sure you coat it underneath to stick it to the board. Then you coat it over the top to make sure that it's all laid down and there's not any moisture or whatever that can get to it and ruin it later. All right, so now let's get started tracing this, and I'll show you what I get after that. Sharing you the cutting out of the letters, but just so you can see, there's an R. That's the first letter done. It takes a while to cut these out. I'm not gonna lie, I'm taking my time, I'm being careful. I'm just using a pair of good old scissors. So I've got 4 more letters to go. Once I get those cut, then we can start putting them on the sign, put some hangers on it, we'll be done. Project, it's done. As you can see, I added the deer head silhouette over here beside of his name. I cut it out, traced it on the computer, the exact same thing I did for the letters in his name. It's a really simple, really easy way to get the size, the proportions, the font, the image, everything you want without any guesswork, and it's really quick. The only thing that takes a little bit of time with it is cutting it out, honestly. And I used a pair of scissors. You can use an X-Acto knife. That'll work great too. But I think it turned out really good. This technique means that even people who aren't artistically inclined, and if you can't even draw a stick figure, now you can make great signs. You can have great graphics and images on your signs. And you don't have to paint the background. You could leave it as bare wood. That's the great thing about using pallet lumber is a lot of times if it's been out in the weather a little bit, it's got its own character built in, and you don't want to cover up the wood. With this, I wanted to paint the camo technique. Hopefully you learned a few things from that too, and I can show you some more on that camouflage technique and get a little more elaborate with it. If you want me to, leave me some comments. Say, hey, we'd love to see that video. Tell me, Chad, you suck. Leave me some comments. I'd love to hear from you. I love interacting with you guys. Be sure to click thumbs up below this video. That really helps me out a lot. And thanks for subscribing. If you subscribe, you're going to get notified when I post new videos. And then you can go waste more of your time watching my videos. Don't be scared to share these videos either. You can find me on Facebook, you can find me on Twitter, all kinds of social media. Share them with your friends, get them watching it so you can all make fun of me. Again, thanks for watching and subscribing, and I'll see you next time.